I have a husband who will fall into the donut hole in July, end of July, and I'm hoping that someone, if there's enough noise made, that there will be some recompense to us. We pay for our medications out of our home equity loan. We will never get that loan paid off. And my kids say, that's all right, Mom. We don't need the money. But I was raised in a generation where you paid your bills and you didn't seek help. But I hope there comes a plan for us seniors and for all of those of you who need special needs, that they will write us into this very large bill and give us some relief. I think all of us are worth it.
Thank you, Carol, for sharing your experience. You, unfortunately, are not alone. We've heard about so many seniors falling into this so-called donut hole where coverage stops until you get to more catastrophic bills, but it can be catastrophic for individuals and families. So thank you for sharing that. Now we want to ask Melanie Schuss to come up, Melanie, and talk to us about pre-existing condition. I'm glad to say that in the bill as drafted, it does address the donut hole issue, but also it addresses the pre-existing condition issue. How many people here know of somebody that has heart disease or diabetes or some other pre-existing condition? I say almost everybody here. And it very much limits what you can do with your employment, with your insurance. The bill as drafted will remove the discrimination for pre-existing conditions. It will remove the discrimination if you lose your job or change jobs, so you are guaranteed not to lose your coverage. Again, that only makes common sense, but we've been stuck in this rut for a very long time. So thank you for sharing your story. Please come up. Give her a big hand.
Hello, my name is Melanie Schuss, and I'm fortunate to be standing before you here today. As a struggling small business owner, I was only able to afford a catastrophic health insurance policy with copays and deductibles that neared $10,000. Given the fact that I was young and healthy at the time and had never suffered any serious health conditions, I settled for this substandard health coverage out of necessity, as it was all that my young and growing business could afford to provide. So when I first noticed the small lump on my breast, denial seemed to be the only option. As most small business owners out there know, keeping our businesses viable and growing is more than a full-time job. It's a passion that requires constant work and care, and we just don't have time for health problems that we can't afford. But, as our nation has learned so painfully in the past 8 years, denial only leads to catastrophe. In October 2005, I was forced to admit reality by walking into Simon Cancer Center for the inevitable dreaded diagnosis. But by this time, the cancer had spread throughout my body to bone, lungs, and liver. It was now classified as stage 4 breast cancer, the kind that you don't recover from, as a result of the delay in diagnosis and treatment. My chance of survival was pegged at just 13%, and my journey was just beginning. My worries, however, were not limited to my health. For weeks after diagnosis, I was in a state of near panic regarding how I would possibly pay for the treatment. I had no savings, no real assets, and no idea how to cover these monumental copays. And with this prize-winning pre-existing condition, I had no opportunity to seek a better health plan as I was now shut out of the market. So I finally walked into our St. Louis County Medicaid office, desperately seeking help. I was fortunate to have a fabulous caseworker, Rebecca Henderson, who got right to work, and within days, I received this Missouri Medicaid card that would help save my life. Now I could walk into one of the top cancer centers in the world, right up the street here, Excitement Cancer Center, and receive top-notch care without having to sell a kidney to cover the copays and deductibles. My treatment did commence post-haste, and I'm standing here today thanks to the Missouri Medicaid program and the federal taxpayer-funded Medicare program, for which I became eligible after a 2-year waiting period. These public health plans have allowed me to receive some of the best cutting-edge care in the world, equivalent to the coverage that our senators and congressmen enjoy, without ever having to wait, without ever having to worry. And if our elected officials are given the choice of a public plan, why shouldn't we be offered the same choice?
Amen.
In fact, recent polls show that 76% of Americans, including half of Republicans, support health care reform with a public plan option. And it's time that we the people have our voices heard in the halls of Congress.
Amen.
On behalf of all cancer patients and survivors, I want to thank Congressman Carnahan for organizing this forum and demonstrating the leadership needed to solve our health care crisis. Cancer survivors like myself need guaranteed, quality, affordable health care, just like our congressional reps have with a public plan option. And we've waited too long for real change, and we just don't have time to wait anymore. So I hope that our Missouri congressional delegation will stand strong and firm and united behind this fantastic health care bill that has won the support of mainstream groups like AARP, the American Nurses Association, and for the first time in history, a health care bill has received the endorsement of America's doctors, the American Medical Association. It seems like everybody's behind this plan, with the possible exception of the insurance monopoly. But, I don't know if you guys are getting a little tired of those ads, but in my opinion, the GOP fear factory is running a little thin this time, and the American people don't need bipartisanship. We need progress for America. So I think it's time for quality, affordable health care for all Americans with a public option. And again, thank Congressman Carnahan for your excellent leadership. And now let's get America covered. There's no time to waste.
Thank you, Melanie, and I would add that there are some independents and Republicans. It's not just Democrats that I think are behind these changes, as you cited in your poll. So again, I think it's important that we reach out to everyone to be a part of these reforms. Thank you so much for sharing your story, and we're glad to see your progress.
Which Republican?
Eric. Eric Friedman, small business owner, realtor, is going to talk to us about the issues with regard to small business and maintaining health care for their employees. Eric.
Thank you, Congressman Carnahan. I appreciate your leadership and your bringing us all together here on this critical topic. I'm a small business person. I run a small real estate company, a small development company, and a small not-for-profit. Last year, my assistant's health care insurance coverage went up 20%, and that's been typical. We cannot afford this ongoing, unsustainable kind of health care cost in this country. This is not just about health care. This is about the survival of our country and the survival of our economy. The self-employed and small businesses continue to cite high and unsustainable premium increases as our top health care concern. On average, small businesses pay about 18% more for the same benefits as large employers pay. Let me restate that. On average, small businesses pay 18% more than what large businesses pay. And yet we, small businesses, are the economic engine